6 months after I cut off my family for betraying me, my fiancée showed up at my door pregnant, claiming the baby was mine. I took a DNA test and burned whatever bridges were still standing. I need to tell you what happened last week, but first you need to understand the 6 months leading up to it. 6 months ago, I walked out of my parents' house on Christmas Day and never went back. There was no speech, no door slamming. I left halfway through dinner, got in my car, and drove home. By the time they realized I wasn't returning, I had already blocked every number. You want to know why? Fine. 3 days before Christmas, I came home early from work. My company gave us half days that week, so I thought I'd surprise Iris, my fiancée of 2 years, with lunch. We'd been planning the wedding for months, venue booked, invitations ordered, everything. I walked into our bedroom and found my younger brother, Preston, sleeping with my future wife. No alcohol, no party, no confusion. It was the middle of a Tuesday afternoon. They were sober and intentional, in my bed. When they saw me, the look on their faces wasn't guilt. It was annoyance, like I'd interrupted something important. I didn't yell or throw punches. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds, then turned around, grabbed my laptop and my keys, and left everything else behind. I heard Iris calling after me, scrambling to get dressed, but I was already in my car. I drove to a hotel and stayed there for 2 days. I didn't answer my phone. I thought, maybe foolishly, that my family would take my side once they found out. Iris must have told Preston, and Preston must have told them, because by the time Christmas came around, everyone already knew. My parents called and said we still needed to do Christmas as a family. They said whatever happened between Iris and me was separate from family responsibilities. I should have known then how this would go. I showed up anyway. That was my mistake. Preston was there, sitting at the table like nothing had happened. My mom had made his favorite dish. My dad clapped him on the shoulder when he arrived. My sisters were talking with him about his new job. Everything felt normal and comfortable, for them. I felt like the outsider. At least Iris wasn't there. That was the one small mercy. I lasted about 40 minutes. I made it through appetizers. Then my mom brought up the wedding. So, have you two worked things out yet? She asked, casually, like Iris had forgotten to pay a bill. No, I said. We're done. My dad sighed and set down his fork. You're really going to throw away 2 years over one mistake? One mistake? I looked at Preston. He wouldn't meet my eyes. You call that a mistake? He's going through a rough time, my mom said. He didn't mean for it to happen. I laughed. I actually laughed. He didn't mean to sleep with my fiancée in my bed. My older sister jumped in. Do you have to be so crude? We're trying to have a nice dinner. Yeah, my younger sister added. You're kind of making this about you. I stared at her. Making what about me? The holidays. Family time. You're ruining it by being angry. That's when I stood up and grabbed my coat. My dad tried using a calm, reasonable tone. Son, sit down. Let's talk about this like adults. We're not talking about anything, I said. You've already chosen a side. Preston finally spoke. Come on, man. Don't be like this. I looked at him, really looked at him. My little brother. The one I helped with homework, lent money to, covered for when he messed up in high school. And there he was, sitting in my parents' house, eating Christmas dinner, while they defended him for destroying my life. I walked out. That night, I blocked all of them. I returned the engagement ring to Iris by courier. Within a week, I moved out of our apartment, found a smaller place across town, paid my landlord 2 months' rent upfront in cash, and told my boss. I needed to work remotely for a while. He didn't ask questions. The first month was brutal. I won't pretend otherwise. I couldn't sleep or eat. I worked 16-hour days just to stay distracted. Somewhere around month 3, I started feeling human again. I joined a gym, started running, picked up woodworking, something to keep my hands busy. By month 6, I was stable. Maybe not happy, but steady. I had a routine: work, gym, dinner, Netflix, sleep. No drama. No one asking me to forgive people who hadn't earned it. Just me, in my apartment, building a life that didn't include them. Last Tuesday, I got home around 7. I reheated leftovers, poured a drink, and sat down to watch the game. Then someone knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I hadn't ordered food. I checked the peephole. It was Iris. She was standing in the hallway, visibly pregnant and crying. I didn't open the door right away. I just stood there, watching her wipe her eyes. She looked about 5 or 6 months along, wearing a loose maternity top. Her hair was pulled back, no makeup, smart choice. It made the tears look more convincing. She knocked again. "Please, I know you're home. I saw your car." I opened the door but didn't step aside or invite her in. I stood in the doorway with my arms crossed. "What do you want?" Her lip trembled. She was a good actress. I'll give her that. "Can I come in for just a minute?" "No." She blinked, clearly not expecting that. "I need to talk to you. It's important." "So talk." She glanced down the hallway, like she was worried about the neighbors hearing. Another calculated move. I didn't move. She took a breath, the kind you take before delivering a rehearsed speech. "I made a terrible mistake. What happened with Preston, it wasn't what you think. He took advantage of me. I was vulnerable, and he manipulated the situation. I know that doesn't excuse it, but I need you to understand. I never wanted to hurt you. I needed to work remotely for a while." He didn't ask questions. "The first month was brutal. I won't pretend otherwise. I couldn't sleep or eat. I worked 16-hour days just to stay distracted. Somewhere around month 3, I started feeling human again. I joined a gym, started running, picked up woodworking, something to keep my hands busy. By month 6, I was stable. Maybe not happy, but steady. I had a routine: work, gym, dinner, Netflix, sleep. No drama. No one asking me to forgive people who hadn't earned it. Just me, in my apartment, building a life that didn't include them. Last Tuesday, I got home around 7. I reheated leftovers, poured a drink, and sat down to watch the game. Then someone knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I hadn't ordered food. I checked the peephole. It was Iris. She was standing in the hallway, visibly pregnant and crying. I didn't open the door right away. I just stood there, watching her wipe her eyes. She looked about 5 or 6 months along, wearing a loose maternity top. Her hair was pulled back, no makeup, smart choice. It made the tears look more convincing. She knocked again. "Please, I know you're home. I saw your car." I opened the door but didn't step aside or invite her in. I stood in the doorway with my arms crossed. "What do you want?" Her lip trembled. She was a good actress. I'll give her that. "Can I come in for just a minute?" "No." She blinked, clearly not expecting that. "I need to talk to you. It's important." "So talk." She glanced down the hallway, like she was worried about the neighbors hearing. Another calculated move. I didn't move. She took a breath, the kind you take before delivering a rehearsed speech. "I made a terrible mistake. What happened with Preston, it wasn't what you think. He took advantage of me. I was vulnerable, and he manipulated the situation. I know that doesn't excuse it, but I need you to understand. I never wanted to hurt you." They do prenatal paternity tests. Call them. Schedule it. Text me the date and time. I'll meet you there. Until then, don't come back here. I held out the card. She didn't take it at first, just stared at it like it was poison. "Take it or leave it." She grabbed it. "You're going to regret this." "Maybe," I said. "But I'll regret it on my terms." I closed the door and locked it. I heard her stand there for about 30 seconds before her footsteps faded down the hallway. I went back to the couch, picked up my drink. My hands were steady. My pulse was normal. No panic. No doubt. If the baby was mine, I'd handle it, child support, custody arrangements, whatever was required. Clean, legal, professional. No relationship with her. Just co-parenting. But if it wasn't mine, and my gut said it wasn't, then things were about to change. I pulled out my phone and started researching lawyers, harassment laws, and documentation requirements. I took screenshots from my doorbell camera showing her at my door and backed everything up to the cloud. Then I opened my email to file it all away. That's when I saw it. A new message from Iris. Subject line, appointment scheduled. I opened it. She'd booked the test for the following Tuesday. Clinic address. Time. Straightforward and professional. But at the bottom of the email, in the header metadata, something most people never check, there was a CC line. Preston's old email address. It had been recalled within seconds, but my email client had cached it before the recall processed. I stared at the screen. They were coordinating this together. I didn't confront them. I didn't call or send a screenshot demanding answers. I just saved the email, saved the metadata, and backed it up in 3 different places. Then I kept digging. I spent the rest of the night going through old messages. I found texts from before the breakup, conversations where Iris complained about Preston, messages where Preston asked me for money the same week. I caught them, and texts about the wedding timeline. I screenshotted everything, organized it by date, and built a timeline. By 3 in the morning, I had a folder on my desktop labeled Evidence. I didn't know exactly how I'd need it yet, but I knew I would. The next week felt long, not because I was anxious, but because I was patient. And patience, when you're this angry, takes effort. Tuesday finally came. I met Iris at the clinic. She tried to make small talk in the waiting room. She asked how I'd been doing and whether work was going well. I pulled out my phone and answered a few emails instead. A technician then called us back. She was professional and calm, asking routine questions about medical history. Iris answered most of them. I only provided the DNA sample, a simple cheek swab, and confirmed my contact details. The results should be ready in about a week, the technician said. We'll send them by email and mail a hard copy. Email is fine, I replied. Iris looked at me. Don't you want the official copy? Email is official enough. As we walked out, she tried again. I know this is awkward, but maybe we could get coffee and talk about what happens next. What happens next, I said, is we wait for the results. If the test says I'm the father, my lawyer will contact you about arrangements. If it doesn't, you never contact me again. My lawyer? She looked genuinely surprised. It doesn't have to be like that. Yes, it does. I walked to my car without looking back. The week dragged on. I worked, went to the gym, ran errands, kept my normal routine. But every morning, the first thing I did was check my email. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, still nothing. Then Saturday morning at 6:39 a.m., my phone buzzed. An email from the clinic. Subject, paternity test results. I was still in bed. I sat up and opened it. I read the first line. Then I read it again. Then a third time, just to be sure. Probability of paternity, 0%. Not 15%. Not 5. Not even 1. 0. I set the phone down and stared at the ceiling. I took a breath. Then I smiled. Not relief, not yet. First came vindication. That solid, undeniable feeling of knowing I was right. I knew it the moment she showed up at my door. The CC lying with Preston's email had confirmed my suspicions. Now I had proof. Then came anger. Calm, focused, controlled. They had tried to trap me. Tried to pressure me into fixing their situation. Iris got pregnant, most likely by Preston, maybe by someone else, and when reality caught up, they decided I should be the answer. The stable one. The one with a steady job and no history of chaos. The one they thought would accept responsibility out of obligation. They assumed I'd step in because that's what good men do. I got out of bed, made coffee, opened my laptop, and started a new document. Not a letter. Not an explanation. A plan. Column 1, who needed to know. Column 2, what they needed to see. Column 3, when it would be sent. My parents, both of them. The ones who defended Preston at Christmas and told me I was overreacting. My sisters, who said I was making it about myself and tried to guilt me into staying quiet. Preston, obviously. The family group chat I'd muted months ago but never left. They could all see it at once. Whitney, Preston's girlfriend. They'd been together 8 months. She had no idea any of this existed. Extended family too, cousins, aunts, uncles, anyone who took Preston's side or said I was being too harsh. I created a PDF. Clean, professional, factual. Page 1, DNA test results. Names redacted except mine and the alleged father. The 0% clearly highlighted. Page 2, a timeline with dates only. December 19th, discovered Iris and Preston together. December 25th, family chose their side. December 26th, cut contact. June 18th, Iris appeared at my door claiming pregnancy. June 25th, DNA test completed. July 1st, results received. Page 3, screenshots. Messages from before the betrayal. Proof of the relationship and proof they knew exactly what they were doing. Page 4, a single paragraph. 6 months ago, I cut contact with my family after discovering Preston and Iris together in my home. Last week, Iris appeared at my door claiming I was the father of her child. I requested a DNA test. The results are attached. This is the final time I will address this situation. Do not contact me. No accusations. No commentary. Just facts. I saved the file. Opened a new email. Added every address on the list. Attached the PDF. Subject line, for your information. My cursor hovered over the send button. 1 click. That was all it would take. I thought about my parents, my sisters, holidays, birthdays, family dinners. All of it gone. Then I thought about Preston in my bed. My parents defending him. My sisters calling me heartless. Iris at my door, asking for help with a child that wasn't mine. I clicked send. Read receipt started appearing within 2 minutes. 1, 3, 7, 15. Rapid, one after another. The first reply came at 4 minutes. My younger sister, what the hell is this? 30 seconds later, my older sister, you serious right now? I didn't respond. My phone started ringing. Mom, I declined. It rang again immediately. Dad, declined. Then my older sister, declined. 6 minutes in, someone forwarded the email to the family group chat I'd muted back in December. I unmuted it just to watch. 47 messages in 10 minutes. Is this real? Someone call him. This has to be fake. Oh my God. At minute 12, my mother typed, this has to be fake. Preston would never. My father replied right after, we need to talk about this as a family. Everyone calm down. I sent one message to the group chat. There is no family. Not anymore. Then I muted it again. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. I almost ignored it, but I answered. Hello? Page 3, screenshots. Messages from before the betrayal. Proof of the relationship and proof they knew exactly what they were doing. Page 4, a single paragraph. 6 months ago, I cut contact with my family after discovering Preston and Iris together in my home. Last week, Iris appeared at my door claiming I was the father of her child. I requested a DNA test. The results are attached. This is the final time I will address this situation. Do not contact me. No accusations. No commentary. Just facts. I saved the file. Opened a new email. Added every address on the list. Attached the PDF. Subject line, for your information. My cursor hovered over the send button. One click. That was all it would take. I thought about my parents, my sisters, holidays, birthdays, family dinners. All of it gone. Then I thought about Preston in my bed. My parents defending him. My sisters calling me heartless. Iris at my door, asking for help with a child that wasn't mine. I clicked send. Read receipt started appearing within 2 minutes. 1, 3, 7, 15. Rapid, one after another. The first reply came at 4 minutes. My younger sister, what the hell is this? 30 seconds later, my older sister, you serious right now? I didn't respond. My phone started ringing. Mom, I declined. It rang again immediately. Dad, declined. Then my older sister, declined. 6 minutes in, someone forwarded the email to the family group chat I'd muted back in December. I unmuted it just to watch. 47 messages in 10 minutes. Is this real? Someone call him. This has to be fake. Oh my God. At minute 12, my mother typed, this has to be fake. Preston would never. My father replied right after, we need to talk about this as a family. Everyone calm down. I sent one message to the group chat. There is no family. Not anymore. Then I muted it again. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. I almost ignored it, but I answered. Hello? Is this real? A woman asked, her voice shaking. Is Iris really pregnant with Preston's baby? Whitney. According to the DNA test, I said, it isn't mine. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. He told me nothing happened after that one time, she said. He said it was a mistake and that it ended. It wasn't one time, I said. And it didn't end. Silence. Then she said, I'm so stupid. No, I replied. You trusted someone who didn't deserve it. That's not the same thing. Did you know about me? She asked. Not until a few weeks ago. I'm sorry you're finding out like this, but you deserve to know. I hung up. I felt bad about it, but I didn't have the energy to comfort someone caught in Preston's fallout. My phone buzzed again. A text from Preston. You piece of crap. You ruined everything. I stared at it for a moment and typed back. I ruined nothing. You did. I just stopped letting you make it my problem. Then I blocked his number. More calls came in. More messages. I declined all of them. Then someone started pounding on my door. I checked the peephole. Both my parents were there. My mother looked exhausted from crying. My father looked angry. I didn't open it. Son, please, my father said through the door. We can fix this. Just let us in. I turned up the TV. Please, my mother said. We didn't know. If we had. You knew enough, I said through the door. You chose him anyway. Leave. They knocked for another 5 minutes. I ignored it. Eventually, they left. By the third hour, I had over 80 missed calls and more than 150 messages. Cousins, aunts, uncles, people I hadn't spoken to in years, suddenly had opinions. Some were supportive. Good for you. They had this coming. I never trusted Preston anyway. Most weren't. This is cruel. He's your brother. Family forgives. You're tearing everyone apart over a mistake. I blocked every number that defended Preston. I left the supportive ones on read. Around midnight, Whitney texted me. I broke up with him. He admitted everything. Said the baby is probably his, but he wasn't ready to deal with it, so Iris came to you. He actually said you were the backup plan. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. I read it twice. I didn't reply, but I didn't block her either. I sat alone in my apartment, looking at my phone, at the damage left behind. I felt no guilt. No regret. Just exhaustion. Then something clicked. I was still here, in the same city. 20 minutes from my parents' house. 15 from Preston's place. They knew where I lived, where I worked, where I shopped. I'd burned the bridges, but I was still standing on their side of the river. I opened my laptop and pulled up an email from my boss I'd ignored weeks earlier. Subject: Denver position, leadership opportunity. Big promotion. Relocation required. More money. More responsibility. I told myself I'd think about it later. I clicked reply. I'd like to accept the position. How soon can I start? I sent it, closed the laptop, and went to bed. No overthinking. No second guessing. My boss replied at 6 a.m. He was on the East Coast. We can have you here in 2 weeks. Housing stipend starts immediately. HR will send paperwork today. Welcome to the team. 2 weeks. I gave notice on my apartment that morning. Month-to-month lease made it simple. I'd be out by the end of July. Then I went to the phone store. New phone. New number. I gave it to exactly 5 people: my boss, HR, my landlord, my bank, and my insurance company. No one else. I didn't announce it. I didn't post about it. I just disappeared. The next few days were quiet. My old phone, the one I stopped carrying, sat on the kitchen counter, buzzing occasionally. I checked it once a day, just to see the fallout. More missed calls. More voicemails. I didn't listen to them. I didn't read the texts either. Whitney sent 2 updates. I'd saved her number on my new phone, not because we were close, but because she was my only reliable source of information, and I wanted to know how things unfolded. Her first message came on day 3. Preston tried to deny the baby was his. Iris showed him your DNA results. It proved it wasn't yours, but didn't confirm it was his. He demanded his own paternity test. She agreed. Results came back yesterday. 99.97% match. He's responsible. She's already talking to a lawyer about child support. I read it. I smiled. I didn't reply. The second message came 2 days later. He's spiraling. Lost his job. Called in sick too many times, then stopped showing up. His lease ends next month and he can't afford to renew. I think he's moving back in with your parents. Thought you'd want to know. I still didn't respond. But yes, I wanted to know. My mother tried calling my workplace. The receptionist told her I no longer worked there, which was technically true since I'd transferred. She panicked, tried my old email, and it bounced back. Then she posted in the family group chat. I unmuted it one last time just to observe. Does anyone know how to reach him? We need to apologize. Please. Someone must have his new number. My older sister replied, maybe he doesn't want to be reached. Then silence. For the first time, I think it finally sank in. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't cooling off. I was gone. My younger sister found my Facebook account. I hadn't logged in for months. She messaged me, I understand why you're angry, but this is extreme. We're still family. You can't just erase us. I logged in once, read it, and deactivated the account. The next week, I packed carefully and without emotion. Family photos went in the trash. Gifts from Iris were donated. Anything tied to my old life. Furniture they helped me move, books they recommended, even the coffee maker my mom bought, was gone. Sold online or left at the curb. I kept 2 suitcases of clothes, 1 box of essentials, my documents, laptop, and a few tools. Everything else disappeared. By day 10, the apartment was almost empty. A mattress on the floor, a few dishes, a TV on a folding table. I'd already sold the couch, bed frame, and dining set. Everything was either going with me or not coming at all. On my last night there, I ordered Chinese takeout. I ate straight from the container, sitting on the floor, watching a basketball game on my laptop. No music. No nostalgia. Just quiet. I felt lighter, not happy yet, but lighter. Like I'd been carrying weight I didn't realize was there, and it was finally gone. I slept deeply that night. No dreams. Moving day was Saturday morning. I loaded my car, 2 suitcases, 1 box, a laptop bag. Everything I owned fit into a sedan. I took one last look at the apartment. Clean walls. Empty space. Like I'd never lived there. I locked the door, dropped the keys in the landlord's mailbox, got into the car, and started the engine. My phone buzzed. The new phone, only 5 people had the number. Unknown caller. I should have ignored it. I should have driven away. But something made me answer. "Yeah," I said. "Son," my father's voice came through. It sounded broken. "Please don't hang up." I didn't speak. "Your mother is devastated. She hasn't slept in a week. Preston, he's not doing well. He's moving back home. The family is falling apart. Can we just talk? Just once?" I sat there with the engine running. The car was packed. Denver was 14 hours away. Everything I'd built over the past 2 weeks depended on what I said next. "Talk," I said. "You have 2 minutes." He took a breath. I could hear traffic in the background. He was probably outside, trying to keep my mother from hearing. "I know you're angry," he began. "And you have every right to be. But we were trying to keep the family together. Preston made a mistake, yes, but he's still your brother. We thought if everyone could just calm down." "Stop," I said. "You're not calling because you understand what you did. You're calling because you don't like the consequences." "That's not." "Yes, it is. You're not sorry you defended Preston. You're sorry it backfired. You're not sorry you told me to forgive him. You're sorry I actually left." Silence. "Mom is crying because she misses having everyone together," I continued. "Not because she realizes she chose wrong. Preston is struggling because his actions caught up with him, not because he learned anything. And you," I paused. "You're calling because the family looks bad now. Because people are asking questions. Because you can't pretend everything is fine anymore. That's not fair." "You're right. It isn't. None of this has been fair. I came home early and found my brother with my fiancée. That wasn't fair. I went to Christmas looking for support and got blamed instead. That wasn't fair. Iris showed up at my door pregnant, trying to trap me into raising Preston's child. That wasn't fair." He didn't respond. "You chose him," I said. "Every time. You told me to get over it, to forgive him, to think about family. But you never once made him take responsibility. You never called what he did unforgivable. You just wanted me to make it easier for everyone. We were trying to protect both of you." "No. You were protecting him. I didn't need protection. I needed my family to stand with me, and you didn't." He exhaled slowly. "So what now? You're just going to disappear? Never speak to us again, yes? That's not who you are. You don't know who I am anymore. You haven't for 6 months, and you're not going to. Please, just think about. I've been thinking about it for 6 months. When you defended him at Christmas. When Iris showed up pregnant. When I sent you the DNA results. I'm thinking about it right now. My answer hasn't changed. We're done. Lose this number. Don't look for me. Don't ask around. I'm gone. I hung up, blocked the number, turned off my phone, tossed it onto the passenger seat, and put the car in drive. The trip to Denver took 14 hours. I stopped twice for gas and coffee. Slept in the car outside Omaha because I was too tired to continue. Woke up at dawn, stretched, and kept driving. Around hour 10, crossing into Colorado, I realized I was smiling. Not because I'd won or gotten revenge, but because I was finally moving toward something instead of running away. Denver was clean and organized. The job was demanding, long hours, steep learning curve, but I liked it. My coworkers were friendly without being intrusive. No one asked about my family. No one dug into my past. I was just the new guy who worked hard and kept to himself. I lived in corporate housing the first month. Small, furnished, temporary. I explored the city in my free time. Found a climbing gym and started going 3 times a week. Met people naturally. No pressure. No history. 2 months in, I went on my first date since Iris. Coffee with a woman named Audrey I'd met at the gym. She was a civil engineer, tall, direct, funny. We talked about work, climbing, and bad action movies. She didn't ask about my family. I didn't ask about hers. The second date was dinner. The third was a hike. By the 5th date, I gave her the short version. Caught my ex with my brother. Family took his side. I cut them off and moved. She nodded. That's rough. You handling it okay? Yeah, I said. Okay, she replied. That was it. No probing. No analysis. Just acceptance. 3 months in, my boss offered me a permanent role. More money. Leadership track. I accepted. I rented a small condo with a mountain view, 15 minutes from work. Audrey helped me move in. We spent the weekend assembling furniture and ordering pizza. Simple. Easy. Mine. 6 months after arriving in Denver, Audrey became my girlfriend. Official. Committed. I met some of her friends. She met my co-workers. We talked about a spring trip to Utah. One night, lying in bed, she asked, "Do you ever regret cutting them off?" I thought about it carefully. No, I said. I regret believing their version of loyalty for so long. She nodded, kissed my shoulder, and went to sleep. I lay there thinking about Preston, my parents, Iris, and the baby that wasn't mine. I felt nothing. No anger. No bitterness. Not even satisfaction. Just distance. They were strangers now. Their problems weren't mine. Their chaos didn't reach me. Whatever happened to them didn't matter. I built something they had no access to, a life where I didn't have to forgive people who didn't deserve it. Where I didn't have to fix other people's mistakes. Where I could live on my own terms without apologizing. They wanted reconciliation. I gave them consequences. The DNA test didn't just prove the baby wasn't mine. It confirmed that walking away was the right decision all along. And I've never looked back. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.